park his bike, we're moving over, he goes over, the kids disappear, and you think the shot is just sky and grass. And then as he starts to go in, that justifies our going up, in a little bit, but mostly up. And once we're going past the grass, we can go in as much as you want. But it'd be great if people think, oh, the shot's over, it's the kid in the grass and the sky. And then we go, no, no, no. As he goes in, we start to go, it becomes a whole other shot. The thing that really struck me about Weirton is it reminded me of towns near where my father grew up, in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, that were these steel towns in the late 70s, and it had a great topography. There was this couple great valleys, and because it's so hilly, it would let you shoot the neighborhood, and it wouldn't just be a flat shot. It would let you see the sort of rolling hills. You could see that it would kind of continue up. You know, it was beautiful, and it was a great way to sort of see the whole town. Good, Joel, thank you, and we'll cut. It's nice to tell. Thank you, cut!
In approaching the film, of course, our primary focus was to find a town that we could convert into 1979.
When we were scouting for it, we sent our scout team out with the production designer, Martin Wist, and they searched all throughout Ohio and a little bit in Pennsylvania. We even took photos in Connecticut. And Martin had set up easels with pictures of all these different towns, most of which were, bucolic, lovely little towns. And then Weirton pictures were at the very end, kind of not yet put up. They were one of the last towns they shot. It wasn't yet ready to be shown. And JJ went around, and then he stopped and he said, "What's that town?" And the production designer and I looked at each other, and that look was, we're going to end up there.
We went up and down the Ohio River, and this place proved to be perfect. First of all, of course, we have very, very strong steel mill presence here. There are other steel towns, but this one kind of had it as the heart of the city.
What struck me was it's this beautiful place with this massive steel mill in the middle. And I just remember when I saw the pictures, I thought, well, what's great about that is these kids become, in terms of the mill at least, sort of diamonds in the rough, because this thing is huge and terrifying, and the sounds would be massive and big, rusty buildings, and to see these 13, 14-year-old kids riding their bikes past it, it just felt like these kids were sort of living, especially the main character, with this constant sort of frightening reminder of what happened to his mom.
Weirton, over the course of the last couple decades, has unfortunately laid off way too many people. And because of that, the entire town has changed very little over the course of the last 30 years. So the town itself, it looks very much like it did in 1979.
This is the Weirton Electric where we shot the Olsen camera store.
I heard that a movie was scouting here from Paramount, and that's all that was told. It was in 1979, so I tried to research as much as I can and found out that it was Super 8, and that was the movie that was coming. And so I went up there and talked to them for a little bit, and they said they'd try to find a place for me. And then a couple days later, Clark, who's one of our ADs, called and asked if I wanted to work on film. I've lived here my entire life, born here, raised here. I know my grandpa and his family moved here in the 40s.
This building right up here, actually my grandfather, who worked for the mill, and whenever they wanted to build this place, he was the construction foreman on the project, so he supervised them building it, which is pretty sweet.
In 1909, E.T. Weir more or less founded the city. He started the steel mill, and really the city built up around the steel mill.
It was Mr. Weir's philosophy that the people that work here should work here, play here, go to church here, go to school here. The company provided, for many decades, a very prosperous town, a very prosperous place to work.
Yeah, so I've been here all my life. I was born in 1966 and grew up right in that house right down there on First Base.
In the very early 70s, we had 20-plus family members working at Weirton Steel.
In its heyday, the mill employed probably around in excess of 13,000 people. And during shift changes, the city streets were lined with cars, the traffic lights were backed up, and it was just a buzzing place.
It was kind of a social time when you went to work, because you worked with a lot of people. Could be family members, could be neighbors, and you look forward to going to work.
As a steel worker, the sense of pride that's created in working in a steel mill is immense. They know when they come in and they punch that card, they're in for a hard day's work. And I think just that sense of accomplishment carries over in your personal life.
And that was evident throughout the community and just the spirit behind the city.
It was a wonderful time. We spent the summers playing baseball in the evenings down the ball field, and in the wintertime we went sled riding. We had a lot of hills to go down, and of course the snow in the wintertime was speckled with black dust, the graphite from the mill.
There'd be 100 kids at the playground. You could go down to the pool, spend your whole day, come home by dinner time, and then you went back out at 6 o'clock and came home when the street lights went on.
As a child growing up, I never had a key to my home because it was never locked.
Yeah, it was a lot simpler back then.
Well, in the 70s in Weirton, it was a rather difficult time because the steel mill was undergoing a lot of difficulty because of the foreign trade competition. And it wasn't too long after 1979 that National Steel, the parent company of Weirton Steel, decided to sell Weirton Steel Company.
Basically, what they told us was, we're going to run you till we can't run you and basically shut you down.
They had a Save Our Steel campaign, and in 1983, they come up with an employee stock ownership plan, and the employees of Weirton Steel Company purchased the mill from National Steel.
It was employee-owned, and the town was the mill, and so we really wanted to use that.
People actually felt like they had control of their destiny. They were an employee owner, and that flourished for 20 years until we filed bankruptcy. I believe it was in 2003.
That's when the area started to go downhill everywhere, the whole Steel Valley here, to a point where, you know, there no longer actually is any molten steel here being produced.
Number of employees in the early 70s was right around 14,000, and we're currently operating with right around 1,000. It's sad. It's not the same place that I grew up in, but it still continues, which is a good thing.
This is Josh. He's in charge of the kids. He pretty much tells us where to go and then takes us there.
My job was to take care of the cast and anything that they required, making sure that in between shots, if there was a long setup, to make sure they were able to go to school. School. And just kind of take care of them and, you know, whatever they kind of needed.
The town itself, we needed to find a place that was convertible. We didn't want to go into somewhere where I had to redo the whole place. It was a bit of a blank slate, and even more so, a lot of that era was left intact.
The production designer, Martin Wist, he came into the museum, and we got out a bunch of negatives that we had from 1979.
And it basically was a documentation of all the stores up and down Main Street during that time. So having that research source was the greatest help in giving us the authentic feel of a 1979 steel town. It was interesting, of course, having to create an auto lot in the 70s. We want a level of authenticity again to what would have been sold in the 70s. They found all the cars semi-locally. They've got a silver Pacer. Come on. Look at it. Can you see the shape of this thing? This is the most ridiculously shaped car of all times. P. Schreiber won't be undersold. We're in front of Denmark's Furniture, which was originally a store here in Weirton. It's one of the examples of a store that I saw in the reference, that parade in 1979, and brought up here, and love this store. And of course the opportunity to bring in the furniture and appliances, which are another thing that is just sort of brings you back immediately to the decade. I love Olsen's. To me, it's the heart of the film within the film. It's where the kids go, it's where their passion is. And of course, in terms of the look itself in there, it defines the era. Proud home, Lillian Steele.
Watch the car drive away. Look back at your locket and only with your left hand, close it. Cut, very nice, good.
Cut.
Good.
Cutting.
Okay, one more like that, very nice.
So this is actually where base camp was a couple days, which is kind of cool because it's right across the street from my house. Actually, that's my mom. When I realized I wanted to make movies, I used to envision that this is where base camp could be. Like, I'd walk outside and look out the parking lot and be like, oh, trailers will be there one day. And for it to actually happen, and like the day I walked out and saw trailers there, it was insane because it actually like happened.
Perfect. Okay, everybody looks at the lens. 1, 2, 3.
We are having a ball here, and everyone's been so nice, and I just hope that we're not infringing and annoying people too much.
We want to thank you guys for coming in here.
Please.
The people there could not have been better. They could not have been more supportive, patient, and frankly, better actors in the movie. I mean, we shot scenes there that we didn't expect to shoot because of bad weather. Thank you so much for your cooperation in this. This is sort of an experiment today. We were supposed to shoot this scene in Los Angeles, and because of the weather, we ended up doing it here with all of you. I think it's to be a better scene because of it. While most of you are not actors by trade, today you're gonna be. And I'm telling you, you're gonna be bored to death. In about 10 minutes, you're gonna be like, oh my God, again? So I apologize for how many times we're gonna be doing this.
I cannot tell you how much better it was shooting here. Because the people, they were great. They weren't mannered, they weren't self-conscious, they were just real. It was such a wonderful thing. So I'm so grateful for the locations, for the city, but the people is what makes it special. So thank you for that. Everyone on action, here we go, and 3, 2, 1, action!
When you literally have a town that's that unique, you can't use a few towns to get the look of one town. So the challenge of that is that these people that live in the town, it's their home, you're kind of invading their area.
Okay, all cameras set. Phil, ready? Here we go. Everybody, energy and background, action!
The battle sequence becomes sort of the cross to bear because you need to take over a neighborhood and bring in military tanks and infantry, and though it's all blanks and fake firing, we have to fire weapons and make a lot of noise for several days, late at night.
That was crazy. Wow. Oh my God.
The arriving of Paramount has gotten people out on the streets, people talking, people looking.
There'd be 200, 300, 400 people watching us film. Filming kind of brought the community together. It gave everyone something to talk about. It kind of became the pride that, you know, Super 8's filming here.
That was awesome. 3, 2, 1, action.
We were there the whole night, you know, next to the set, and that is the most impressive thing, watching that Main Street scene. The way it was handled by Tommy and JJ and the whole crew. Everyone was very professional, polite. You didn't hear a cuss word all night. It was such a well-oiled machine.
Here we go, set, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6.
It was a real treat to witness that. It doesn't get much better than that. I felt very, very privileged to be there. Yeah.
I got it! Oh! Don't touch it!
When I first got hired, it was for the Weirton portion of the show, and then they were going to go on to LA and finish out filming. So as the days progressed, the kids kept asking me, are you coming to LA with us? You coming to LA? And I personally never foresaw that happening, just because I'm from Weirton. I've never really done this, and there's got to be millions of people who would die for that job out in LA.
Oh, Josh, you're out.
But they were persistent. They were really persistent. And mom's pulled me aside and they showed me an email they wrote to our unit production manager. And he basically told me that the parents really want me to come to LA, and he thinks it would be a great idea. And everyone from JJ to the other PAs, the one thing they told me is that this never, ever happens.
And Josh Foglio for Weirton. Thank you, Weirton.
The thing that struck me the most about Weirton was how unbelievable the people were there. They were so kind and amazingly supportive, and I'm really grateful to them.
It was really this amazing experience to be able to come into this town and kind of have everybody jump on board and really be a part of the process and a part of making the film.
Ever since Martin Wist walked in here, and I thought this would be one of the biggest things that can happen here.
Growing up here versus growing up in a town where everything was given to me, I think it made me want to work harder for everything I have. So everything that's happening to me now, I think a lot of that was started from the good work ethic that, my parents and grandparents and everyone instilled in me, and really started from their parents and grandparents and generations back.
As far as the resurgence of Weirton, they're in the process right now of trying to get some other industries in Weirton. I think that will revitalize the town, and I think from that point, it's very exciting because I can see people coming back to Weirton to live and to work.
Well done, guys. Come back to Scotland soon. Thank you, guys. See you again very soon. Can't thank you enough.
I could not be more grateful. The whole crew is grateful. I cannot wait for you to see the movie. We got to come here and show it to you when we're done with it. There's one other thing. We have a special guest here today. Dan Castellaneta is the voice of Homer Simpson.
I just want to say, you guys were the best angry mob I have ever seen. And I know this because I've been chased by a lot of angry mobs.